Maybe just you and I.
Okay, that'd be the case, we can short form it if you want. I got a truckload of gravel.
Sounds good.
Spread.
Well, and you may be familiar with, because I know this first one you were the one that introduced to me, which is the Khan Academy.
Yes.
Have you used that?
Periodically. I haven't done anything deliberately on it. I'll occasionally, usually a link from somewhere else and take me there.
Okay.
But it's been just exceptional every time I've been there. It's fascinating.
Yeah, I've heard extremely great things. So this is so the Khan Academy's learning for free, and that's what it says on their front page. It says something about free learning for everyone forever, or something of that kind. And so you log in, you create an account. You can use either if you have a Google account, you can use your Google account. If you have Facebook, you can use Facebook, or you can just create one from scratch, whatever is most convenient for you. And then this is, so I don't know how old or how long I should say this has been going on, but once a year now they have this hour of code. Have you heard of this? Once a year, it's kind of like a day celebration, but it's just an hour. And basically they're trying to teach young people how to program and how to code and how to use technology properly. And so the Khan Academy has a whole set of courses now on Hour of Code. And so on the front page, it asks what you're interested in. So I went to technology, and under technology, it had different ones. And one of them was learning how to code and create web pages for Hour of Code. And so I clicked Hour of Code, and then I clicked on the web page one. And so this is the one we're looking at right now. So it's got a YouTube video, questions, tips, guidelines, reporting a mistake. And then it's got the different lessons down this left-hand side of the screen. And you just go through it. And apparently you get rewarded for how much you learn. And not that this would necessarily interest lots of people, but some people it probably does, which is why they have it. But this little icon right here indicates me. It looks like the more you learn, you unlock. So I'm a little leaf right now, and then it unlocks into a little leaf creature. And the more learning you do, the more your creature grows. I guess kind of indicating how much you have grown. But this is the hour of web pages, so an hour-long course on how to create websites. So, and I haven't done this. I just thought I'd pull it up.
How long is the lesson? Truly an hour? Or?
I think. Well, I mean, maybe it's an hour worth of material, and depending on how long you want to spend on each topic. So this is just a welcome. It's 2 minutes 48 seconds. HTML basics. It's a coding walkthrough. So, got it. So this right here may look like gibberish, but when it comes down to it, that's really what a web page is. We see all of this visual stuff when you go to Google, but when you're actually on a website, this is what the coding looks like. In fact, there is, shoot. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it, but there used to be, or there is, a way, and it shows you what the coding is for the actual website, and this is what it looks like. I know I've accidentally tried to copy or paste something on a web page and pulled up that little code thing. So again, another video and teaching you, oh my goodness, how to do HTML. Write a poem. I wonder what that's about. Anyway, so write a poem. Apparently that's part of oh, maybe because that's what it looks like. when you're writing code, it looks kind of like a poem. It probably would make more sense if we actually walked through it and watched the videos. But I mean, the Khan Academy covers anything and everything: math, science, economics, arts and humanities, computing. That's where I went for the computer, and there's the hour of
Click
code.
on the arts and humanities, see if there's any.
Oops.
theology.
Arts and humanities. Maybe
You'd
that's
think that somebody would
that's initially what I was
Yeah.
looking for, was something on faith.
Renaissance and Reformation.
Well, yeah. There it is. That undoubtedly has to do with. Okay, so now you're going to learn stuff. Early Renaissance Italy, Renaissance, Mannerism, Reformation, and the Counter-Reformation. So maybe the Reformation is so hard to, I mean, arguably so is the life of Christ, but the Reformation, I think, is so hard to separate from the history of that time period because of everything that happened around it, that it's hard to separate it. So that may be why they have this in here. But it would be interesting. And I don't know how everything gets up here. And, I don't know if.
I don't know what their sources are. If for a
Yeah.
while it was just that guy.
Right. It was just that one
Solomon
teacher,
Kahn.
professor.
Yeah.
And now other people from distinguished universities and colleges all over the country have added to it. I mean, maybe if you just go to history, it might have inherently in it, kind of like the Reformation has in it.
Oh, there's something there. Good. Section on Martin Luther.
American civics, crash course in world history. So those are the. Where'd you see Martin Luther?
Go back about 2 screen.
Oh, right there. Yeah. So Reformation counter. Yeah.
I wonder if any of the seminaries or
Yeah, that'd be.
schools of theology,
Right.
Stanford and Harvard, some of
Mhm.
these are
Yeah,
putting
Harvard
up the
Divinity
lectures,
School,
are
yeah.
putting their lectures up
Yep.
online. You watch them for free. Their best teachers, best classes. I wonder if the divinity schools, seminaries are doing a similar thing.
Yeah. I know that
There's
some
so
of
much
our.
that you can hardly watch it all. I mean, the TED Talks.
Yeah, I know.
can sit there and waste a lot of time.
I have those on my podcast, and I almost never get to them,
Right.
just because there's so much to listen to that it's hard to get through them. So, and I don't know if there's part of their mission is to not go into that unless necessary, because with history, of course, you're going to have faith play an integral part in that, because faith does. And but I don't know, I don't know that aspect of it. But I mean, you can start with 2nd grade math if you wanted and work your way up. Go to algebra. Just complete all these courses.
Some of the economics the last time I was messing around with the iMath, and that was pretty interesting. It's like Econ 101, but clear, not a semester's worth of pontification.
Yeah. So here's even test prep. So if someone's getting ready for their SATs in high school, MCATs, I don't know any of these others. So just a wealth of knowledge, completely free, provided by teachers throughout the world, I believe. And it's just grown and grown, and it is a great site.
Back to the web page creation.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the ad on TV that features Brett Favre, Farb and Carve website.
No, I've seen some others like that. There was some. I don't know if he was a photographer or someone, maybe famous in his industry, creating a website using Squarespace.
This one I think was called Wix. I think I saved this on my free website, Wix.com. Yeah. WIX.
Oh,
Wix.com. WIX.
oh my goodness. WIX. There we go. We actually got to it this time, so now we can actually show people what's going on here. All right, and yeah, we've been looking at websites recently. Easy to customize, no coding. So we looked at coding just a second ago with that tutorial. This says no coding, which is most of what you get now, which is what's termed. I don't think they even use the term anymore. They used to, but it's what you see is what you get. So you're working with visual representations of exactly what your website's going to look like. Almost 62 million users using it. Hundreds of fully customized. So HTML5 is the newest version of HTML. It's great because before you used to have to use Flash to get media of the scrolling. Like this is scrolling right now. This is HTML5. Before it used to be Flash. Flash has always had vulnerabilities, and they do their best to constantly update it and make it as safe as possible. But HTML5, because it's built right into the code, is supposed to be more secure than using a website and then adding Flash to it. So here's some of those templates. They even let you know what categories maybe you want to use them for. Simple drag and drop. Yeah, so I would imagine that you'd have a little option over here. You'd click it and you drag it and just drop it right into your website. And so we'll just go ahead and click on one and see what we get.
Have you built anything for brewing?
I have not, and I'm probably not going to use that site anymore. It's not as.
Was that Weebly or was that the other one?
Yeah, it was Weebly. Yeah, Squarespace is paid, and I don't know. I did not find it intuitive, and maybe that's just me. Weebly was just frustrating for many different reasons. So maybe this Wix is another option to look at. So this is obviously just a sample, and you can edit it as much as you want, but it looks like, let's see if we, yeah, so you will have to create an account, but they'll let you go so far as to look at what it could look like if you wanted to edit this kind of a template for your website, where you've got these toolbars up top.
Yeah.
Yep. The site map, yeah. You've got your little icons for Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. Probably add other ones if you wanted as well. Operating hours, all different kinds of stuff.
Lots of tabs.
Yeah, lots of different options for you to go with. And again, the other nice thing about these new sites is they let you have this mobile version. So it'll show you. Yep. So that it'll look like on a phone, which is also really helpful. So yeah, lots of different options out there for websites, and I'm sure they'll they'd like to email you a lot after you sign up as well. And one of
Wheatley's on there every day.
yeah, I've been trying to weed out the amount of junk email I get, and so I scroll to the bottom of the email, and at the bottom is a little unsubscribe button.
How does, how is the church's website built? Is it a,
It is done through Google Sites, which is a fine option. It was the one that I picked with what I knew at the time, trying to get away from the old one, because the old one was really hard. It was old. It was 10 years old and had never been changed. I understood nothing about it. It's something that Pastor Steve and I could alter. And so that's just what I did. And it's never meant to be a permanent solution, just a better one than what we had. It's also free. The only thing we pay for is the domain name, and that's $10 a year. So that's all we pay right now in website costs, whereas before it was, I don't remember anymore, but it was at least $600 a year. Yeah, and that $600 got us less than what Google gave us for free.
Yeah.
And the people that owned it didn't really do anything to help us. So we switched over to that, and I was looking at Squarespace, and again, wasn't intuitive, but we've got a new technology task force going on to look at everything physical and software wise and make recommendations. And I think one of them is going to be to figure out what to do with the website to make it even better, because it's fine, but it's not good. It's not what it
So how
could or
do
should
you
be.
envision the relationship between the website and the Facebook page? What the website is more like a library, and the Facebook page is more like a radio station.
Yeah, I think honestly, except for the news section of the website of what's going on, which is what we replicate on Facebook. So that's kind of your news source. And I would expect that that's what members or regular worship attenders would use the website for /Facebook. And then it has archive stuff as well, like our videos that we've done for Lent and our sermons that we preach every Sunday. We've got those available to download, and I do PDF. Pastor Steve does Word. Those kinds of things are available. But I think primarily the website is for, if we can get someone to update the calendar, then that will be a valuable resource for people who come all the time. But I think primarily the website is for people who are looking to discover what faith.
So, using as an example, my favorite subject, council notes, minutes.
Yes.
Would you see them released on Facebook or just archived on the website in due course?
I think they'd be archived on the website, and there's actually steps being taken to do that, to store them in OneDrive. No, actively though, not just it's been talked about. Actively migrating all of that stuff to a OneDrive account owned by the church, and then it's public record,
Right.
So available for people to.
Sure. But perhaps an extract posted to Facebook.
Yeah.
Cut and paste the Pitney News, the intern, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Slice that paragraph out of the minutes and post it up on Facebook.
Yeah. The website, when we try to post more news, because it's just text and not something that we can have scroll across the screen, which I've looked into and looks quite unattractive on the website, but there is a way to do it, but it's, again, extremely unattractive. We just try to limit what's on there, which is not helpful, but is a reality of what it is until we do get something nicer. I'd like to have something that scrolls and, Sunday's sermon and simply just the title of the sermon and an image related to it. And then you click on that and it takes you to another page on the website where you can read that paragraph that we write up about Sunday's message.
So how do you do like notifications? Like I get notifications now all of a sudden from CNN. I don't know how I got them. But I think because once you go there to their website, a little banner comes up and says, CNN wants to send you push notifications.
Mm-hmm.
Allow or deny.
Right.
I must have hit allow at one point. So now I get this little flash that there's something new on the CNN website. That kind of thing, because you don't go to the church website every day.
No.
But it would be nice to have some sort of alert that there's been
something new updated. Yeah.
Now the Facebook pages do that kind of automatically. If I liked Faith Lutheran Church, which I think I have,
right,
I should get a little
notification. Yeah, that little globe notification. Yeah, you should. I think, unless there's an option where you need to actually be updated about their notifications, but I think it's automatic.
I think it is too, but I've never the emails, from the like the posting of sermons and that sort of thing, Thursday thoughts.
Right.
But you think that do Thursday thoughts get posted to the Facebook page?
They do not, but and this is another thing, is that it's all of these things are run by Steve or I, and so we're kind of limited on. But one of the things the group mentioned that it'd be great to try to really promote and get the word out of the Facebook page, and start pushing everything out that way, as you were mentioning, with the intern, with Wednesday night services, right, with our Holy Week schedule, things like that, and see how much it gets used. And if people really start getting into it, then looking at committing time and effort to revamping the website, because Facebook is free, and see if people really do use it and get into it.
Well, it would seem to me that you could almost assume that it's going to get used.
Right.
Because the demographics are shifting towards users. But you're still going to have, the first service people who you're going to have to apprise in the traditional ways.
Right.
But slowly, those people are, fading out. So,
yeah. So we have been, it's mostly Sunday sermons. We have tried to do more fun stuff on occasion. We've posted.
I get the alerts for the upcoming sermon. So I've liked the page.
So you do
the last
get.
entry I have is the sheep and goats.
Yep, that's the newest one.
So when that came out, I should have gotten a little globe
notice. I think
there's a new posting,
and it's hard for me to know to do this because I'm the administrator of the page, so it looks different to me, and I interact with it differently. So the last time the kids had an outing, I posted that up there with some pictures. And we did right there, those photos right there. Then we did this Super Bowl Sunday photo with the Seahawks gear and Chris's recognition for his scholarship for scouting, and different things like that.
and theoretically, when you posted those, I should again get an alert, right, that something's changed there.
Yeah, you should get.
But I don't think I get those for some reason.
I think there might be an option.
And that would be on my side.
Yeah, it'd be on your side. I don't know if it's under that ... and it's to
Yeah.
message.
Suggest edits. Message.
Or there's timeline. No, that would be to send us a message. Then there's timeline about photos, reviews, and more. I don't know how to. I know I get notifications in that bar from, but I don't think you can turn a page into a close friend. Because you can set up close friends and you automatically
But
get
I mean,
everything
that's
that
the
they
kind
update.
of thing that we need to figure out. We being
Right.
you. that because you want everybody who's like Faith Lutheran to get all those notifications, and by default, unless they turn them off somehow. Unless they don't want them, then they can turn them off. But you want to make sure that everything is posted here.
Right.
Launches a flag on my page, on my account.
Get notifications.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, get notifications.
Don't miss
Add to
updates.
interest list. What would that be? Click accept and change.
Prompts
Oh,
with the get
started
notifications
interest
option.
list is special news feed.
They've already liked, they can click the mouse over the like buttons of their page to change your notification setting. Okay, so there's a little drop down. See your little like, and then one of them says get notifications.
Yeah, and mine was clicked.
So you should. Mine's not, but it's because I'm.
So now it's.
So yeah, so that's something from user and nothing. I mean, we can inform people about it, but that's nothing that we can push out on them. And that's part of their way to allow the user to determine what they see and don't
Well, if
see.
you think about it, next time you post something other than the sermon alerts,
Yeah, I mean, I can just post a little
Send an
note
email.
saying,
send me an email that says, I just put some photos up. Did you get a notification? I'll write you back. And say,
yeah. And I can even push out a little post saying, if you want to make sure you don't miss any updates, click on get notifications
Yeah.
under the like button. It's a great idea.
Cool. What else you got?
Well, some of the other learning type options that are out there, eHow website, ehow.com,
Oh, yeah.
teaches you how to do stuff.
Uh-huh.
I mean, even things like keyboard shortcuts you should know. What is motherhood really? Not sure about that, but anyway, Easter wreaths, DIY things. So you basically just type in what you want to learn about, including how to cook different kinds of food, and there's supposed to be step-by-step instructions out there.
How to cook brisket.
Brisket. How to cook a brisket. So instructions.
So it's a search engine of sorts whose resources are how
Yep.
to things.
Exactly.
And they come from lots of different places.
I'm pretty sure they come from.
I've actually used the Weinberger telling me more lately by Googling stuff on how to do this.
Yeah.
It works great.
Yep, that works well. So there's eHow, which will help you learn stuff, and sometimes these are helpful over Google because you want to. Google may
Eliminate
not.
all
Yeah,
that.
you want to eliminate all the excess stuff. You want to just get to step-by-step instructions.
Right.
eHow will do that. So will WikiHow. So wikis are learning, kind of like Wikipedia is the online encyclopedia. So this is WikiHow to do anything. So you just type in again what you're looking for, and you can log in, I think, so that you can save different things that you've done. Be chic. Stop being superstitious. Apparently, there's a step-by-step instructions on how to stop being superstitious. How to grow ginseng. Wow, you can learn to be obedient. Excellent. So these are just ones that they show, but you can obviously type in what you want to look for.
Well, YouTube is also.
YouTube definitely
great.
is.
There's YouTube's on everything.
Yep. I've learned a lot about how, and it's great. And some of these sites do have videos, which is helpful. But YouTube is great because you've got someone visually showing you what to do. iTunes University
This is another.
for the iPad and the iPhone. Some lessons are free, some are paid. They're also meant for actual teachers and students to use. And so it's a great option for people to use. Just learn right on your iPad, which they have a Khan Academy app as well too, which we talked about that earlier. So you don't have to just use the website; you can use it on the go. And then, not to single out just Apple, we've got Android, which is the Google Play for Education. So anyone using an Android device can do a similar thing to iTunes University. And again, it's also meant for students and teachers, but I believe, I don't have an Android device, so I don't know for sure, but I believe you can use this to learn in the same way that you can with iTunes University. So those are a bunch of different options available to you. And then one other thing that I found, and again, this is related to the iPhone. I tried to find it for Android devices, but it doesn't look like it's out there, but maybe they have something similar. So the iPhone or the iPad, there's an app called Fountain, Fountain. And what it does, and it's unique in that Fountain, and I don't know if I haven't tried it yet, but so I don't know if they charge you or not. But basically, it's if you have a problem around the house, you type in what you need help with. Here we go. Get a live demo. They say they connect you within 5 minutes with an expert. And so say you're having a pipe leaking under your sink. Take a picture of the pipe leaking, send it here, and you provide details that you want them to get. Send them a photo so that they make sure that they do understand the description also. And then in 5 minutes, they connect you with a live video, kind of like FaceTime or Skype, conversation with an expert in that field. And so you go from there, and they talk you through the problem and solution. And
that's iOS only?
Yeah, I tried to find it for Android, and the only Fountain app that I can find is actually a writing application, like a fountain pen.
Well, I saw an ad yesterday for one of the group health cooperatives, and one of their selling points was that you can Skype with a doctor.
Yeah, Group Health is really pushing that. There's a couple others.
And
I'm sure there's plenty.
There are other sites where I think there's one for $39.99. You can talk to a medical professional who has the authority to write prescriptions
Right.
based on that chat. So like I had shingles one Saturday morning and I knew I had them, but in order for me to get the shingles medicine, I had to go to the emergency room, $750. I was in there for less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I could have paid $39.95, had, hey, I got shingles, see? And, okay, here's the medicine. Go.
Right. Yep. Those commercials I've seen the commercials and it's pretty incredible. You just sit there and you talk with them on the video conference. And
I don't know how they do it from their side, how they indemnify themselves. What if they're wrong?
Yeah. Well,
maybe you waive all that when you log in.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's plenty of waivers that you sign, but I wonder, obviously it's different because you're not physically there and there's certain tests that they can't perform, but it's almost harking back to the old house call.
Sure. When
a doctor would come to your house instead of you going to a location. So there's, this is not a free service. And so you can add a payment method to have an expert come and help you live over the phone.
Speaking of online payments the other day.
Yes.
This is the first time this ever happened to me. I bought some shoes from Bass Pro Shop online, and because I was not a Bass Pro Shop customer, rather than fill out all the crap, I paid for it with my PayPal, which, you click PayPal, they send it to the address that's coded to your PayPal.
Right.
So the shoes didn't fit. So I took them back to the storefront.
Actual store, yes.
And they said, well, because you paid with PayPal, we're not going to give you the money back, but we'll give you a gift card back. Which I didn't quite understand because, PayPal, they got the money.
Right.
Why they wouldn't give the money back, it didn't matter, but the policy seems, I don't quite understand it. Is there some abuse or what are they?
I think it's more of stores are not set up to accept PayPal because it is strictly an online method of payment, whereas credit cards, we can enter the number online and such, but I don't think they are trained / the registers aren't set up in such a way that they could accept a PayPal payment.
Right, but once the payment had already been made, see, Bass Pro Shops in the world, universe, had the money.
So how do you credit it back, I guess?
Yeah, that's what they couldn't do.
Yeah.
They I presumed that they were going to swipe my Visa card, but they couldn't do that. And I can kind of understand that because it's apples and oranges.
Right.
But they could have given me cash since they had cash in,
True.
their bank somewhere, wherever their bank is.
Yeah.
But so I guess it's that's one downside to PayPal, I suppose.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen very often though.
No, that's probably it. And that may be why they don't do that, is because it's not a common occurrence and customers will have to deal with that under those circumstances. Yeah. So, and there's more and more companies coming out with the little chips on their credit cards.
I don't understand that. The RFID chips.
Yes.
The aluminum wallets.
Yes.
Duct tape and all that. It seems to me those things are vulnerable. I don't know how they secure those.
I've not
they
looked.
talk about people walking around Fred Meyer with scanners, scanning those codes down. This tap and go, that just seems to me to be convenient for sure, but also vulnerable to fraud. But when you go to Europe,
it's all they do.
Yeah, our credit cards don't work.
Mm-hmm.
Got stuck in Heathrow one time trying to get to Ethiopia, and I had no money, and no way to pay the plane ticket. So Ethiopian Airlines flew me to Ethiopia based on my promise to pay them once I got there.
Not a bad deal. But yeah, that's all they use. And I have not looked into the technology of it, but they claim that it's more secure
Yeah.
than the magnetic strip. And so one of my credit cards was coming near expiration, so they automatically send you a new one. And sure enough, I now have 2 cards in my wallet that have the.
So, have you found the tap and go or the proximity sensor?
No, I haven't even used. I love the idea of Apple Pay. Not even used it yet.
That's on the phone.
Yeah. But so no, I've not been able to find either option, and we're not going to in a small town like this.
So how
for a
does
while.
Apple Pay work? There's just a sensor who communicates with Apple Pay?
Yeah, it's a special kind of, it's NFC, near field communication, and certain terminals have that built in, and obviously with Apple doing this now, everyone's benefiting with near field communication technology on their smartphones. But it's a simple matter of having that technology and being able to accept Apple Pay. That's the second step. But you simply put your phone near it, put your thumb on the little reader on your phone, and it sends off your payment. And it's that one-time code,
Right.
Which is helpful.
And
It's
connected to your credit card.
Yeah, so there's a default credit card, and I would assume that it's just going to always use that default credit card unless you go into your passbook on your phone or your Google Wallet if you have an Android device and use NFC payment, and so manually select one before you go and pay, which would take more steps. But by default, it will take just, if you want to do the really quick option, it automatically takes it from whichever one you've indicated is your default credit card with it.
And do you know, is that can you load a credit card or a debit card?
Yeah. Yep, credit or debit, indicate whichever one of those you want as your default. Sends one-time unique code. Apparently, and I didn't look much into this because I really wasn't that interested, but apparently there has been some, what's the word I'm looking for? Scams going on with fraudulent activity with Apple Pay. And so credit card company, and it's not a big deal, credit card companies are taking another measure. It's not harder for you to pay when you're actually at the terminal, but it requires an extra step in setting up your credit card with Apple Pay. It may require you to go to that company's web. So Chase, if you've got a Chase credit card, you would have to go to Chase's website and verify it's you with that card. So there's that extra step that companies are making credit card companies take to make sure that nothing fraudulent is happening with Apple Pay. So it's just that extra setup step, but the actual still going and what they show in a little video of how easy it is, that process is still the same. But again, I've not been able to use it. I do enjoy using the Starbucks app, though. I've used that for a couple of years now. Yeah, it's the little barcode scanner. You can do Apple Pay now too, but with the QR scanner, I don't have to worry about whether or not that Starbucks has.
So how do you call that up when you're standing in line at Starbucks?
You pull up the app, and you can either click on the pay icon or you just shake your phone, and your default gift card and the barcode comes up.
And that's something you have to stock. You have to stock your account.
Yep.
Put money in from wherever.
Yeah.
And then by toggling it up, it just brings up the link to your account.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Automatically deducts. You can add a tip. Actually, what it does is it scans and does the transaction, and then after the transaction is over, it says, "Would you like to add a tip?" And then you can add a tip, and you can use Apple Pay to reload the card now, so straight from your app instead of linking it to Starbucks, having an account on file with Starbucks. You can just use Apple Pay now to reload your gift card.
Starbucks talks to Apple Pay.
Yep.
So how many There's only one Starbucks in Shelton, right? Safeway?
2.
Where's the other?
Oh no, there's only one. I was thinking of McDonald's. I don't know why. But yes, there's the one in Safeway.
Speaking of all things Apple, did you see that the Apple TV is supposed to have be new and better this summer?
They finally came out with.
They said that, they took such heat after the last release that they hadn't done anything with Apple TV, which everybody expected them to do. Apparently they were prompted to say, well, we're going to in August, I think. But I think the only thing that's really different is the content that's going to come with it. You'll get some free channels or something for a while. Because I don't see what could be different about the
box.
technology.
Yeah, it's already got.
It could be faster. It could be cheaper. I think it is going to be cheaper, but it's senseless. It's just that link between the web and the TV. So.
Yeah, I think, well, some people's speculation is that the whole reason they're not doing anything with it right now is because they want to do one of those leap things, like what they felt they did with the new MacBook. Is don't do anything to it, just make little incremental upgrades, but not really touch it. And then that whole time that we're doing those tiny things, we're working on that leap forward. So the people are expecting maybe even an actual TV built with Apple TV inside of it.
Well, I forget who it was, whether it's the new guy or who, but he says that, well, I need to be Bill Gates, says that the future of computers is the TV. That you'll do everything on the TV in the future.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that they need to work on with computers on TVs, especially linking like this up, is the screen resolution, because TVs have such high resolution. And I know I need glasses when I'm working on things, so that's already a disadvantage for me. But I've hooked up computers to them, and when I sit across the room, because that's where my couch is, I can't read anything. It's just impossible. Well, for watching movies
4K,
and looking
5K
at pictures.
And all that's supposed to help with that.
Yep. Oh yeah, I love the 5K iMac. I mean, everything is so crystal clear on there.
I see more stuff coming with the 4K media.
Yeah.
But I think, like you, it's all got little asterisk caveats.
Yes.
Still pictures 4K, movie pictures 720.
Yeah, 720 or 1080. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's going to take a while before it gets there, and I mean, Blu-rays don't even have that kind of quality. Blu-rays are 1080p, so putting a Blu-ray player on even a 4K TV that does project 4K moving images, videos, you're still not. Until someone comes out with, unless you're streaming videos from like your Mac or your PC to the TV, and those videos are filmed with a 4K. Because there is I don't know if it's how true it really is, but there's a app I have on my phone. It's a upgraded camera app from the default one, and one of the in-app purchases you can get is for 4K video, taking 4K video, and it's like $3 for the upgrade, and I just sounds intriguing, and the $3 isn't the barrier there. It's the, what am I really going to do with 4K video at this time?
Well, you can archive it so that you can look at it.
I could archive it. Yep. And I could, well, and I could, I could put the video on my laptop here and see what it looks like on my 720p TV or monitor here, and then put another copy of it on my iMac and compare the quality of the images and see if it really does anything. Because it says it can actually upscale the iPhone's camera to do 4K video. Who knows?
Well, what else have I gotten
That's-
sufficiently off track?
Yeah, but that's great. No, I mean, it was just those
That was
different
good.
options
Yeah.
for, the Khan Academy is probably the best option because it is completely free. And the
it
content
is
out
excellent.
there is amazing.
It is.
I had tried it in the past. I haven't done it recently at all with my schedule, but there's been nothing about good things about the Khan Academy. But then there are those other options, and then the how-to stuff is helpful too, especially in an increasing age where we outsource so much stuff
Right.
for some people. And I don't do this with everything. I just take my car in if it needs to get fixed. I occasionally do some small stuff on it, but other stuff like tinkering with my computers, even hardware wise, I'll tinker with them. And if I don't know how to, and I'm interested, YouTube or eHow or any of that stuff will get you a great head start
Yeah,
on
for
learning those
example,
kinds of
I
things.
still need to buy a battery for that iPod system, get that replaced. Batteries Plus will do it. You can order an iPod battery from them and they will install it. It's like $50.
Hmm.
And I forget I said, gee, that's expensive. You can buy the batteries for $15 online. He said, yeah, but if we break it, we'll
Replace it.
replace it. Although I don't know how they would do that with a classic iPod. So,
Yeah, and that might be something to ask them is say, well,
Yeah.
hey, it's a classic and it's
Yeah.
this model.
Yeah.
And they may say, well, we can't do that because
Right.
they're so expensive now.
But I think what they're aimed at is the common things like iPhones. They say,
Yep.
if we break it, we'll replace it, which they could do,
Right.
which would be an attractive thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Definitely.
but maybe it's today. I will. If it continues to rain and I get my gravel spread, I will bring my iPod battery.
Yeah.
Well, thanks very much.
Yeah,
It was
thanks
good.
for
You
coming in,
did a
and
lot of, prep
we
work.
did have some people join us online. They're not
Good.
on at the moment, but thanks for
Have
joining
you
us.
heard anything from Sandy?